Okay, so thank you so much. I'm grateful about this opportunity. I want to find out, please don't look at your phone. I know you have phone that are smarter than smartphones. Please, there is a prize that goes with this question I want to ask. Who is the Minister of Communication and Digital Economy? And why was he made the Minister of Communication and Digital Economy? And so far, what is the impact? So my question, I also have to think background. So I'm interested in, don't look at your phone. Though. When you respond very well, whoever wins the prize, there are 3 books I will give to the organizers, they give to you. Okay. So why was he appointed as Minister of the Federal Republic? Okay, when you're economical with words, you mean his experience in tech. Where did he express that skill? We are getting there. Don't be shy, say it. Okay, is there anybody who wants to assist you? Well, the person will share the books with you.
The Minister of Digital Communication Economy is Olubos Ntijani.
Sorry, I didn't hear
His
you.
name is Olubos Ntijani. Olubos Ntijani. And he's from Ogun State. Tinubu picked him. He was a critic of Tinubu before the election, but
So what extent did he criticize?
I was not following up, but I knew he was criticizing Tinubu.
Okay, I would like you to find out. Is that we are getting there? The prof said that and all the speakers they say you need to be informed. It's not particularly students that Dr. Chu, the head HOD of them that also stretched that you need to be informed and you have to have enough knowledge that you are not depending on. It's very important to know what is representing your constituency. And what we are going to be discussing has to do with what is it that has never been done in history. So the way we continue, you will understand it, you will tell me. I'd like us to, how many of us have seen or read chapter 2, section 23 and 24 of the Constitution? Chapter 2 of the 1999 Constitution and section 23 and 24. How many of us have read it before? Okay. After this engagement, okay, what is written there?
Chapter 2 of the Grand Constitution contains the rights that
I'm specific about section 23 and section 24. Chapter 22 and chapter 23 and 24. There are 2 chapters that are very elaborate about what we are going to do.
okay, civic engagement.
Okay.
Yes, duties of citizens.
Excellent. Clap for you. What other thing?
Duties of citizens. Yes, paying taxes.
Excellent. It's about your role as citizen. It's also about the ethics of the country. So I don't want anybody here to be thinking that not them. No day, no concern. What is concern fish with raincoat? Or now, how about go to the shop and when people turn the wall? It's about everybody. That has been emphasized that all of us need to be part of it. So how many of us are going to be part of the civic engagement? Everything Prof said, Prof has raised the issue to the highest height. Our 2 lecturers have also raised it further. Then the moderator has also expanded on it. So nobody is left out. Why is nobody left out? Well, we are all concerned. Why is it that this state I'm still advocating? I had the opportunity of being married up before my 9th birthday. And in the village, I was organizing people, organizing young people. Many of the people today are very prominent grandfathers and grandmothers. They didn't forget how we used to talk. So it was supposed to be that after marriage, before 9th birthday, I used to be there, and it's going to be a great grandmother. Isn't it? But I'm still advocating. That is to tell you that people will continue to advocate. Be present. They have been advocate until he now became a leader at this level. So it's absolutely important for us to understand that I've written here that who is a civic actor. I say an informed citizen actively involved in shaping their society. Actively involved. Your phone, your iPhone, your other smartphone should not be just for joke. It's for you to do something because the Constitution, chapter 2, section 23 and 24. Have you are being mandated, you're under obligation, you have no choice. If you don't do it, then it's like you are committing a sin, isn't it? Do we want to take it as because of negligence? No. We say civic engagement is not just politics. Somebody mentioned earlier. Because whether you like it or not, we all play politics within the family, within the department. I was excited when I saw that poster. I asked Prof and he told me how I said, why is the female not going for to be the vice president, for the position of vice president? And I said it because the current president is a female of the department. I said, oh, how did that happen? Because I understand the sentiment like Dr. Hawa mentioned earlier. He now said because the person who was there had some issues with transparency and accountability, and on that strength, he was impeached, and the woman now took over. I said, no wonder the person who wants to be president is very elaborate about transparency and accountability. So I should have a woman, maybe until there is enough behavior, enough character, integrity to be able to keep the basic rules of accountability and transparency. But like Dr. Awa said, they will not agree like our sister, the other sister said. They will say, when woman has been there, woman make sure that they remove a man, and the woman is there and they want to pick another woman. So it's a problem for us. You can see the number of toxic that you can push. Then we also say, okay, I mentioned that. Why must students care? You have to care. Because whatever they do in the National Assembly, the State Assembly, the local government, I go to my local government area and ask the councillor question. I remember what Prof, they had asked me to come to their meeting. I was not supposed to just go there and tell me they asked me to come and sit down while they were holding the session. You know, the councillors are the legal arm of the local government structure. Very important thing. So all of you here, you need that knowledge. This is a democracy, it's not a meaningful thing that somebody will come and be making so much trouble with you. So students are future leaders, but are also today's influencers. Then they say policies affect your tuition, isn't it? It affects our action process. Do we have solar here? So there are so many things that we can talk about. Say your job prospect. During my time, when you graduate, you have many jobs waiting for you. And I also graduated before. They have then it was they bring brand new vehicles. 504 or 404 or which other one then? I'm sure your parents told you this. 5 jobs to be waiting. You don't have to write application for jobs. But now you find many people just compete for the pattern graduation. So you should really concerned with this. Preparing for your graduation and for those who are in the labor market. There's a freedom of speech and more. Advocacy is speaking the truth to power. Who has the right to do advocacy? None of us have the power to say something because so many things are wrong. You don't need to insult anybody. You can use democratic language to be able to drive your cause. And what is your power? Are you to abandon your studies? No. There are many people who are students, first-class students, yet they were able to make their impact felt, their voices were heard, and authorities reckon with them. I'm not saying that, I'm not pushing you to go and make trouble. But some of your parents will tell you, I didn't send you to university to go and make trouble. Go to university, study, come out and become what you need to become. But the environment too is important, so you need to be able to. So that I say, advocacy is actively supporting the cause or the policy. We have talked about that. So there must be something to support because there's something that will not be exactly right. Then we'll talk about types of advocacy to be individual. If you tweet, if you have your Instagram, you have all your social media platforms. I know many of you belong to a lot of WhatsApp. You can say something that will change destiny. You Imagine somebody taking Prof, taking sister, taking Dr. Awad paper, and putting it on your platform. It will change a lot of the perspective a lot of people have. Very rich representation. Then I said the Nigerian example, giving that same answers. Young people mobilize nationwide to demand police reform. Has there been a reform? Yes. A lot is changing. They don't parade NSAS like they used to parade them as a result of that. Those who even kill some people because they don't have to pay with their life, they are also pushing to see how they can get on it. You can do a lot. They say, who can lobby? We talk about NGOs, professional bodies, students, individual groups, socio-cultural groups, different kind of people can lobby. They say, thank you. How can students lobby? Say requesting meeting with school authorities or state representatives. You can lobby by meeting your socio-cultural group. You can lobby by meeting your traditional ruler. I want to lobby my traditional ruler. I put some things to them according to the tradition. Put some kola nut and say, oh, you have come again and so you want to do this. I say, I just think that we can look at this together, Your Majesty. You have to respect them. You not go and be standing, you not go and wear jeans there. I'm meeting some of them, what I'm wearing now, they say very combative. Even if you are not making profit, they say, she just came and was just talking and pointing at me. You I have to go on my knees and greet them very well. They say, I say, example, man's lobbying lawmakers to increase the inflationary budget. It's something we can do. If you tweet, and because it's being calculated, they will look at it and know that this is a serious. I like what they are doing. Even Radio Nigeria, they do that. They do social media. They look at what is trending in social media. When you have your phone, 100 naira data, you can do so much and it's work.
My name is Precious Adoga. I'm from the University. And my question is to the first speaker. And I must humbly say the knowledge I'm sure we've all acquired here is overwhelming. So my question is, it's been made clear that the biggest issue is democracy. The level of diversity in Nigeria, how does democratization overcome bigotry, tribalism, and overwhelming diversity? Because aside Christianity and Islam, we have traditional religions that feel westernization is wiping them out. So how does democracy serve the needs of everyone within society? Thank you.
My name is Natalie Chizoba Lawrence. I'm from Veritas University from the Department of Political Science and Diplomacy. So there was an election conducted. A girl came out for the election, but she was competing with a guy. And all of a sudden, her knee hit and she dropped. My question is, how do we help such students gain courage to come out for that election? Because she was confident on the job, but because of that, she was even scared of telling people to not vote her again.
So my question is also to the coach. This one is really question. So over time, we have experienced advocacies for equal gender representation in politics. And these advocacies are based on the that women have potentials and give valuable contribution toward national growth and development through reform governance. However, the question is this: is there any quantifiable data available to really show and interpret the contribution of women in national development? And how bad or worse would the nation be if these contributions are not there? And this question is to avoid the perception that women advocacy for equal representation is coming from a place of competing with men, or if men want to participate in some benefits like this position. So the question is this: are there any quantifiable that shows the contribution of women in governance? And if these contributions are not there, how worse would the country be?
My name is Uwe Ifoma Sandra, currently the president of Political Science.
The last hammer, we really, spoke something that everybody wants to hear. And I'm sure that this little speech is not even little, this maximum speech. Everybody would know that they have a political power as female. We are not meant to be vices. We are not meant to be second hand. We are not meant to be alternative. We can also be at the front tier of government. Thank you so much, ma'am. So my question is, what tools can we use to educate young girls and women about their political power? Because there is this conception everywhere that as a woman, you're not supposed to go for a certain position. Your position is meant to be because you're limited to this political power. So what tools can we use to enlighten the females that yes, even though you're a girl, even though you're a female, you still have this political power to engage in a particular political position? Thank you so much, ma'am.
My name is Dr. Chanya Lamai, and my question is in two dimensions. First, I'm going to return my question to last year. And it has to do with advocacy. Now, I try as much as possible. I'm a lecturer with National State University. I try as much as possible to teach my students. If I have to crawl, I will crawl to make them understand. And I discovered that a lot of students, there's a decline in the interest of research. And that's why when Professor Kawal was invited, I told her I would like to come. Also the Deputy Director, General Service. And I felt I am doing advocacy using TikTok. And all of a sudden, one of my videos, or two of my videos actually got really it blew. And I was on the Punch newspaper, on Instablog, Yaba Legs, and all of that. But then I got a call. And this is my question. There's always a structure in any institution. And my institution set up a panel to, will I say discipline? I don't know yet. The outcome is not known yet. I'm still waiting, hanging on the bench to know what the outcome is. But I'm trying as much as possible to stir the interest of research work. Now, if I have to copy a sound, because how TikTok works, you use sounds to relay your story. And sometimes you have to dramatize. And I used a cartoon sound. And they said it was inappropriate as a lecturer. And I said, they shouldn't look at the context per se, but the message I'm trying to pass. And I'm advocating here because you said that we can use anything and just say what we want to say and make a difference. And I'm trying to make a difference. It's not conventional. And I'm also trying to see how this generation can be interested. You just got to know about Gen Alpha. They are worse off than the Gen Z. Oh, they have a mind of their own. And I'm trying to see how I can get them to be interested in research. Because they keep complaining that we do research, and after we make all this research, nothing is done. We're supposed to form policies and make a difference. But we're not doing that. And they are all discouraged about this innovating. And you come out and say, I am supposed to be penalized. I want to know what approach should I take, because I am not just mad, I am trying to even put it online. If I have to lose my job, I don't care. I think I will get jobs elsewhere if I don't have a lecturing job in my university. But I feel this has to be said. And if this is the medium which I will use, because all these platforms, a lot of my colleagues don't even try to even want to know what is happening or how to even use these platforms?
Someone has a question that really, is there any association democracy anywhere? Well, democracy is not a journey that we start and think anywhere. All countries are trying to improve, their systems, governance. Those need to be responsive to the needs and aspirations of their people. So who say that we have arrived at the destination that we want to get. Then I think so I said somebody asked how does it resolve the problem of diversity? Well, you see, democracy in itself is supposed to be a system that allows all the, for instance, Nigeria is a federal system. Why? Because we are diverse in terms of our ethnic group, in terms of religion, in terms of the geography is not the same. Some part of the country, as if you are in Sahara, you go to the region, for instance, all those northern fringes of the country. It's a different environment for the people. So the diversity in our own country shouldn't be a problem as such. It's supposed to be an advantage. But what has been happening is that the politicians have been exploiting the diversity for their own benefit. Now, how will democracy resolve this problem? That's why we talk about good governance. So if people are accountable, and somebody is asking the question, how can they be accountable without losing their authority? Now somebody has a question that somebody will contest the election and then suddenly the good pictures were released. That shows that the person doesn't have integrity. Okay, so it means that you must be very careful about your life. You don't just live carelessly. In fact, you want to know who you are, go into politics. People will tell you, there are other things that you will have done you've forgotten about. They will tell you those things. So that simply means that if you are going to politics, it doesn't mean politics accept irresponsible people. No. Forget about what you have seen, for instance, that has happened in the country. For instance, I know that even the president was being accused of being a drug lord and all sorts of things. But somehow he has been able to, I don't know whether those people took him to court, including someone like Justice Giamu, who was working for Galifying, because Galifying made a message to the president and said that this man is not fit and proper to contest anything. That the Ghanaian eventually died. First truth that was also now making accusations eventually said that he believed that it was the account of the president that was guilty. So how can your account be guilty and you don't have the account? Because so you can, but when some of these decisions about if you take issues of corruption in Nigeria, try to look at some of these problems in the Nigerian judiciary. Because they say it is the hope of the common man. The last hope of the common man. It is no, there is no any hope there. Because they are not just dispensing justice. Because we know also that justice delayed is justice denied. You go to court today on a simple matter, it takes years. Go to other countries where people are responsible. You commit an offense this week, by next week you are in jail. Then you come to Nigeria, since 1999, people have stolen money. Up to tomorrow, the cases are still ongoing. So there is no political will to resolve the problem. Okay, so when you talk about accountability without losing their authority, if the government is transparent, is accountable, are responsible to the people because they were elected by you, and so they cannot just run government as if it's their personal estate to do whatever they like. Nigerian democracy is work in progress. I think we are going through some very difficult phase. It has not been driven beyond election. When the elections are not being properly conducted. And several things that the politicians would have done, they refused to do it. For instance, the always panel had recommended that there should be an electoral offences commission so that electoral offenders will be tried and sanctioned. In one election, over 800,000 people committed offense. The whole lawyers in INEC, I'm not so sure they're up to 100. How do you now prosecute over 800,000 offenses? So sometimes the offense is even overwhelming. You cannot be able to deal with it. So it's actually a problem. But gradually, I think the country will continue to understand that most of these differences, there's this book written by Bala. It's called The Manipulation of Religion in Nigeria. When a lot of students just take interest to read it, so that they understand how religion is being manipulated. It's not as if these people talking about religion really mean the religion. They don't. They only use it to achieve their goals. If you go to Tinubu now, he came with Muslim tickets, right? And he was one of our colleagues went to him and said, "Sir, we want to support you because you came, because that one is a Christian." He said, "Because you have used this Muslim ticket, most of us are discouraged from supporting you." He said, "Look, even in my house, if I'm going to contest election, I will lose against the Christians because there are 3 Christians, his wife, and 2 of his children are Christians." Then he said, in his house, only 2 of them are Muslims. So if they are contesting, if it's based on majority rule, he said he will lose. To even marry a pastor tells you the kind of someone that's liberal-minded person. But he was concerned about winning. And he knows that some people, when they just mention this Muslim thing, take some very serious stand among them and they will support it. And that's what he did, just use that to get into office. And the moment he got into office now, the same people that brought him in, and the same people fighting him. Every fire and who are saying that no, they forget about all these baggages guy. He's a good candidate. Everybody today, first ran SDP, came out today now to say they are born Ada. Ada is cut grass. Those people came with their broom to sweep over this one. They are going to cut now. That means they will cut their necks off or chop them, drag them out. So you see the issue is that these things are being manipulated. They are being manipulated. Religion is being manipulated. Even the ethnicity itself is manipulated. But you see, the ignorance of our people, people are ignorant. And so because of that ignorance, people now use it. But it will shock you that you will come even to a university where there's not a people should be rational. Once you come to religion, religion is not asked questions. Religion is line, hook, and sinker. No questions are asked. No, that is a problem. That is dogmatic. Yeah, that's a problem. They can't bring it to something that you're supposed to ask. You're supposed to ask questions. Then somebody was asking, I think, Madam, your last issue. Try and get in touch with some of these human rights activists. You'll get your problem sorted. It's not a problem. You can say anything you like. Get in touch with some of these human rights activists. I'm assuring you, it's not a problem. The university will not be able to do anything. It's not a thing. So, but most times, you see, this is the abuse of power. People abuse their power. It doesn't really matter. It can be head of department, it can be a dean, it can be a governor, a president, anybody. Once you give them power, they say power corrupt, and absolute power corrupt, absolutely. So people now want to go into the area that doesn't concern them. You have done something that is private to you. Now they are bringing their own rules to say they want to apply to you. By the time they go to court, they will discover that it's not within their own terrain.
The first question is about are women into politics or trying to part of decision making out of competition, trying to compete. And I want to answer that question also try to do what Rob said. I have a little bit of Rob, not like to kind of back what I'm saying, but somehow it's sounding to me like driving the issue of balance a little bit negatively. But that's actually a problem why things are still how we are. Because sometimes when we talk about gender balancing, people think that it's all about competition. That's not what it is. Because asking the question if we balance gender as it solve the problem. Let us balance it first, and then the problem will be solved. That's my own position. Let us balance it first. So kind of say, okay,
okay, what people like, they are also not comfortable with the example of Nigeria, what have modern people. It's also something to be a little bit of negative because, okay, since she didn't do much, why would no one go there? I didn't like that. That's why I'm not trying to come. I'm not trying to see that part of that this is what has been the existing kind of issue of this keep going on. Okay, we have given woman a chance, what we should do. So because of that, I mean, what first, the woman is not all the women. So let us try to balance that gender and let us see how things turn out. And it's not about competition. I'm not feminist as activist, but I believe in it. That is my own. So that if a woman cannot say, oh yeah, I'm about to be here, what are they saying? If you're not at the table, I mentioned it's not one of the part of the venue. So if you're not part of the decision and bringing, you're not involved. How can your own gender be represented? So balance is important everywhere. And the second point about stereotyping. And then that's part of the problem also. Women, I mean, the culture has played so much role to put women down. And somehow we grew up to think even women that can take us place. And in the house, for instance, something will be, shared, and you see that your younger brother wants to go and pick up for you, and they say, oh, okay, and that is okay, wish. You know, that kind of thing, just gives to us as women. And we think that the man will be at the top. And that is culture. And I mentioned that culture is a man construct. There is no culture before we began to exist. So we created the culture, we can also destabilize the culture and reconstruct it. I mentioned construction and construction. And then, she said immediate solution. Immediate is because of what you are doing here. How many of us here students? Start, if you go out from what you're born taking, from this gathering, and begin from yourself to effect the change. I think step by step we will get there. So if you need to is that first of all, girls, don't see yourself as second class citizens. Come out like the American university now, they are advocating for campaigning for different positions. And it's like there are some offices like they are male reserved, like that is president of police for man. It's not true. And somehow women also support them. Don't go there, it's for the point. Not at all. You are also a student of American university. So you can become the president of the student union. And I want to say that situation. I had a lot of experience in the religious meeting of faith, for instance. Once they say president of faith, because we have a method for boys and girls. Once they say president, they say a man. And then they will remember women when it comes to secretary and treasurer. And once I refused to be appointed a treasurer, I said, no, I can't take it. Because why can't I be a president?
I don't need to verify something. What are the tools? I mentioned that there are traditional media, any gathering can leverage any opportunity when people gather to say something. Then you also be able to do one-on-one. There are so many apart from the social media tools. In Nigeria, we have the best opportunity of people gathering. That birthday, burial, you can say something. I remember when I lost my only biological child, and they asked me, what do you want us to do? Some of my people were asking, why are you talking about something? This one goes through trauma. But we are able to identify some interventions that we do. Finally, please about your case, we'll talk about it before I will take the matter to our constituency, and I know that should not discourage anybody, because somebody has said that what can we do? It's not enough. There will always be backlash. On Sarah, the place, I was her director media. The duty was a woman. Then director organizing was a woman. That alone is an error. You know what? We didn't have the media muscle. We didn't have the political muscle to be able to deliver that. And concerning Prof said it already. It's not only that they vote for you, there are people who will be gone anything they show you.
okay, go and vote, and the papers are identified. So the way they vote is not normal. That's why they say the Nigerian people couldn't have voted for it. You notice recently, Senator Ireti, somebody I know, she came out to say, I didn't vote against Natasha, but they almost killed her. They said it's not how to behave yet. Somebody signed for her, they prepared different kind of document. So it's good for you, the younger ones, to understand the vulnerability, what they call banana peel, so that you can overcome it using all the energy you have, the tools you have, your intellect, and all the structures of engagement you have. Otherwise, we will not get there. The system, I contested elections. Before I knew, they replaced me. I was happy going for elections. I thought I was going to see, I've been advocating women go, but I ran for office and ran away. But I've been encouraging people to go. But even I couldn't go. So how will I now encourage anybody? You are the advocate, but you are not running away. Because you have seen the vulnerability. It's so unique. How can you change it? Is what we need to deal with.
Thank you.